So this video's been coming a long time really, and it's you can see from the title, it's possibly one of my favourite fragrances ever, and comparing the proper vintage version with the so-called modern version, and I've tried to be nice. I've tried, I've sniffed them in all different ways and at all different times, and got some general notes, trying not to compare them too much, doing them on different days and then next to each other, etc. I obviously have a bias with this video, but I just thought it'd be interesting to compare them, because the brand we know as Mugler nowadays, all it has is the name. The fragrances are nothing to do with what they used to be. The flankers of legends that are not flankers. We all know how I feel. So yeah, obviously back in the day I was most kind of used to Angel. That was the one that everyone wore. Every ex-girlfriend was everywhere, wasn't it? And that, again, in fairness, was a groundbreaking fragrance that's being destroyed now. And wasn't my cup of tea. I wasn't always a big fan of it. Don't know why. Just, I don't know. Maybe it is a bit to do with the people and stuff. It's always an interesting question, that, isn't it? I don't mind the smell of it, but it's not a great love. It's not one of my absolute favourites. So anyway, yeah, let's get into the comparisons. So obviously first we're going to start with the legend, the original that it is. So to me it opens with a big kind of like a menthol darkness. Maybe you could say even a little licoricey. The darker jasmine blossoms through with a cashmere and musks under it. The air is kind of filled with that iconic, crowd-stopping DNA that we all know. The musks beam off the skin and it's drawing you in. And I'd say like an enchanted spider attracting its prey. As it develops, the iconic elements all come together magically. The jasmine, the cashmere and the musk. And they're all really smoothly balanced. Nothing kind of dominates in that. And then it's really like intoxicating the way it smells. And as you kind of go through its development, I actually get a slight licoricey touch in there, which is something I'd never noticed before. But obviously, when you're concentrating and sniffing something so close. And that mixes with the jasmine, and it's really heavenly. After a few hours it becomes kind of muskier and airier, and the musks and the jasmine's still there, kind of shine, and the cashmere and base kind of gives it this wonderful kind of depth that kind of remains, never dominates or anything. So yeah, that's the old one. So the new one, it opens very sweet with an immediate blast of peppery cashmere, and the familiar muskiness is kind of in the background. It's even, I'd say, a little headachy. I'm guessing the sweetness could be the jasmine, and it's more youthful. Weirdly, as it develops, that hefty cashmere comes through quite massively. Also, there's a noticeable timidity to it. Apart, everything's quite dense on it, but yeah, as I was saying, it's a quieter scent but denser, which is weird. I think maybe there's some ambroxan in there, which kind of does burn the nose a bit, mixing with the cashmere, and there's definitely something else in there. It's a bit brain melty. I also think there's a little sweet fruitiness maybe even in there. which is fair enough. And then as this one enters the dry down, the modern dense peppery Cashmeran takes over with a plummy sweetness in the jasmine, but it is ultimately, for many hours, just that dense peppery Cashmeran and Ambroxan type thing in there with a slight fruity nuance. Yeah, so that's the so-called new one. So yeah, I'm trying to make this brief so it fits on a kind of Wednesday video. This is the bit where we kind of do the conclusion and stuff. Now, if you look at old Alien, it's kind of this mysterious person, like I said, like a sexy spider, you know, someone who's bringing everyone in. Maybe the siren, if you like. You know, they've got this magical dark smell that you can't resist. They're all in black, you know, purple hair, confident, and there's just something about them. You can't stop being sucked in, and it's got a maturity to it. It's just got this something, and you want to know. You're intrigued. You want to know what that smell is. You want to be near them, and it's magical. Whereas the new version is like it's like a cheap clone even. It kind of reminds you of what it is. You kind of know what it's supposed to be. It's this old fragrance that people used to love. And Chardonnay's bought a bottle off the market, and she's really like, yeah bro, that smell really good, yeah. It's really kind of, it's that Alien, remember that? My mum used to wear that. And it's got that kind of nod to it, but it's much sweeter. It's also so modern in its style, if you like, of that cheap, peppery, heavy, dense Cashmere, and that was not what the other one was about. And yeah, so it's really not the same. Like I say, it's more your Chardonnay's Mugler, you know, with little hyphens on the U, and it's sad, really sad. And it's as similar to the original as a lot of the flankers are. Maybe I'm being harsh there. I mean, Goddess and all that jazz, just, they're not the same fragrance, are they? They're something completely different, as is this, sadly. Now, I didn't want this to be a negative kind of video, and I'm not going to rant on about L'Oreal. We all know what they do. I mean, Mugler's not special, is it? They will destroy any brand. They will cheapen everything, pump it out, just make money off the name. They don't have to be anything similar or anything. They'll make the money off the name for as long as they can, till people go, what is this generic nonsense? And then they'll discontinue them like they did with all the flankers and everything, or just get rid of the brand, full stop. It'll be a brand we once knew. And then they'll probably bring back I can see this, an Angel or Alien original, where they claim it's the same DNA, but it's just not at all, and they'll cash in off that for a while. It's just a sad shame, isn't it, really? Because, like I said in the beginning of this, possibly my favourite fragrance ever, and it's just one of the greatest fragrances ever made. I don't think, whether you love it or hate it, I think you can definitely see that it was unique, new, different. And I suppose the new Alien is just how they would have made it nowadays. If some big corporation had made it, go, ooh, we can't release that one, it's a bit risky, it's a bit too unique and different. And the ingredients cost what? They cost 3 pence, not 1 pence? No, cancel that, get rid of it. Anyway, that's enough of that. It was meant to be a brief video, as brief as I could do it. Just comparing them. It will be interesting, actually. I've probably got a few where I've got an original formulation and the more modern one. Who knows? Anyway, what about yourself? Have you smelled both versions? Do you prefer the new version? I'm saying all this, but it is clearly more mainstream and what we're used to nowadays, and sweeter and what have you. And the Cashmerean thing, I mean, people buy it, don't they? So for it to be in everything, people must like it because they still buy it. Anyway, I'm waffling. What was your favourite from that brand we used to know as Thierry Mugler or Mugler? What's your favourite from the new brand, Mugler? The L'Oreal cheap version of. Alright folks, thanks for watching. Bye.